Morning, everyone. This is a good 10 minutes with your host, Alex, where I provide your early morning market news and headline updates from the previous day in under 10 minutes. No spin, no bias, no BS. Factual, objective, apolitical, and fast. Good morning. It's official. President Biden and former President Trump clinched their party's presidential nominations last night, setting up a rematch in the general election. But they're not the only people running. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is making an independent bid for the White House, and he caused a stir yesterday by confirming that New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers and former Minnesota governor and professional wrestler Jesse Ventura were at the top of his short list for VP. The two have welcomed the overtures, according to the New York Times. Alrighty, now let's take a look at market updates. Stocks swung up on Tuesday as investors shrugged off a middling inflation report and looked ahead to next week's Fed meeting. Meanwhile, Oracle went sky high, posting its best day since 2021 after demand for AI prompted a huge increase in sales for its cloud computing business. So AI continues to dominate the market, and every organization that is directly or indirectly tied to AI has seen significant growth Q4 of last year and in the first quarter of 2024. Yesterday, NASDAQ was up 1.54%, S&P 500 was up 1.12%, Dow was up 61 basis points, Bitcoin dipped a little bit by 1.25%, and Oracle that I just highlighted was up 11.71%, now up to $127.50 per share. So continues to be some strong market news in 2024. Now let's talk a little bit about Boeing. Unfortunately, the company has been in headlines way too much for a plane manufacturer, even with a slew of safety incidents that make snakes on a plane look tolerable, and a host of airlines cutting capacity due to a lack of planes. The worst of Boeing's problems may still be ahead of it, believe it or not. Within the last week, several Boeing planes caused panic around the world. A technical issue on a LATAM flight flung passengers around the cabin, injuring 50. Another plane had to make an emergency landing when flames burst out of an engine mid-flight. And that's just what happened in the air. The New York Times reported that an FAA audit opened after a door plug flew off a Boeing 737 MAX 9 during an Alaskan Airlines flight on January 5th, found Boeing failed to comply with quality control requirements. The airline engineers and mechanics were aware of potential problems with the aircraft the day before the incident, according to the New York Times. Very damning news. The DOJ launched a criminal investigation into Boeing's compliance with a settlement related to its role in two fatal 737 MAX plane crashes in 2018 and 2019. A whistleblower who raised concerns about the company's production line in 2019 was found dead on Saturday. Airlines are getting cooked. More travelers might have to go the way of the Kenosha Kickers polka band. Boeing has tapered its production of 737 planes while it gets its stuff together, leaving airlines which rely on Boeing as one of two main plane suppliers with fewer aircraft. Unfortunately for Southwest, it got the worst of it. The airline notorious for not being bookable on Google Flights exclusively flies Boeing 737 planes. Southwest said it planned to receive 58 of Boeing's 737 MAX 8 planes, but now expects just 46, and won't get any of the long-awaited MAX 7 jets. As a result, it cut flight capacity plans and changed its financial outlook for the year, and the stock took an absolute beating yesterday if you want to take a look. Other shakeups in the industry include United Airlines putting a pause on hiring pilots, Alaska Airlines saying its capacity for the year is in flux, and Ryanair lowering its passenger forecast, all because Boeing can't deliver planes. It's good news for Airbus though, Boeing's biggest rival, which delivered 49 planes in February compared to Boeing's 27. Bad news. And now if we move on to our headlines, I'm going to go ahead and start us with inflation news. Inflation was a bit hotter than expected last month, being a little bit of a letdown yesterday. Consumer prices rose 3.2% in February. The Labor Department reported yesterday that inflation was up a pinch from 3.1% that economists expected. That marks the second straight month that inflation came in higher than forecast. So back-to-back bad news and inflation. The data reinforces the Fed's position to wait until inflation is tamed before cutting interest rates. So no interest rate cuts in the foreseeable future. Still, the central bank is widely expected to cut rates sometimes later this year. Unfortunately, yesterday's less than ideal report may delay that, but that's still up in the air. The Fed will meet next week to continue deliberations on potential rate reductions. Moving on to Haiti. Haiti's prime minister announced his resignation amid gang violence crisis. Ariel Henry said he would step down as the leader of the Caribbean nation once the transitional council selects an interim prime minister. The country has been overrun by armed gangs, which led a mass prison break earlier this month, while Henry was abroad seeking support for UN-backed security force. The gangs have burned down a police station and breached the port in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. The U.S., which is supporting the UN security mission, has urged Americans not to travel to Haiti, and I would heed that advice. A little bit on the United States and Ukraine relationship. The Biden administration is sending $300 million in weapons to Ukraine. The weapons will be the first new aid from U.S. to Ukraine since December. Funding for the stopgap package was created thanks to cost savings from Pentagon contracts that came in under bid. U.S. officials said the munitions would only help Ukraine for a short time and won't prevent the country from running out of ammunition as it fends off Russia's invasion. Republican leaders in Congress, on orders from former President Trump, have refused to allow a vote on the bill that would send $60 billion aid for Ukraine. Looking at some interesting key performance indicators, LaGuardia, going back a little bit to travel, LaGuardia Airport is finally bringing some respectability to New York Jets. The Queens Airport, long considered to be among the worst airports in the United States, has risen from the ashes of public opinion, according to a new survey of travelers. The airport service quality, which polled 4,200 flyers last year, named LGA the best airport of its size, just 5 years after it ranked dead last. LGA is in the midst of an $8 billion renovation, which has included a new terminal, upgraded amenities, and more spacious gate areas. Passenger satisfaction with the airport's ambience and cleanliness have jumped 21% and 15% respectively. Since 2018, its overall score has increased 20%. A little bit more on a dating app, Bumble. Bumble's whole jam is that women make the first move, but the dating app is considering changing its approach. On the company's Q4 earnings call, CEO Lydianne Jones told investors that having women always initiate contact is not working for some users. Bumble is expected to relaunch its Q2 with several changes, which reportedly could include allowing men to unleash their ghastly pickup lines like they do on many other apps. The pivot comes as dating apps struggle to attract Gen Zers. What else is happening? Apollo Global Management reached out to Paramount Global about a possible takeover, Axios reported. TikTok could be building an Instagram-like photo app, according to code found in its app. Andrew Tate in the news, the social media influencer who was arrested in Romania in 2022 on charges of sexual assault and human trafficking, will be extradited to the UK. Lego increased its market share in the toy industry thanks to Harry Potter sets and a Fortnite partnership boosting sales last year. Lastly, Iowa's win over Nebraska in the Big Ten women's basketball tournament was the most watched women's b-ball game on CBS since 1999. And we know why that is. Iowa has a generational talent playing on the team, and we're all rooting for her to continue her excellence and taking women's basketball to a whole nother level when she joins the WNBA league. That's all I have for today. Just under 10 minutes as always. I hope you enjoyed this. And please share, like, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And drop me a comment. Let me know if you have any feedback for me as I start to do this on a daily basis. Thank you all so much. Have a fantastic Wednesday. Alex signing out. Bye-bye.